This is the Agribusiness Report. I'm Tony St. James. We're joined today by the Honorable T.J. Cox, who represents the 21st Congressional District of California. He's a member of a couple of committees, the powerful House Agriculture Committee and also Natural Resources. It's great to see you.
Great to see you, Tony. TJ.
And I tell you, when we look at all of the different things that you're trying to follow right now, there's a lot there. We mentioned agriculture, but you've got two subcommittees that you're serving on as well. Is it sometimes a little difficult to manage and balance everything out that you're trying to cover here?
It's challenging to be sure, but I've got a great team, as you know, and we pride ourselves on being as responsible and responsive, certainly as we can. And you know, the committees I'm on, Natural Resources and Ag, are just such a perfect fit for my district. We're essentially the top ag district in the top ag state. Then with my position on natural resources, water is such a big issue. And I'm very proud to say that we're making real progress with water issues in California. And I've taken a little bit different tact than previous members, and I've been focusing on the people. If we can make sure that we provide water to the people, when we do those types of things, we're also able to provide water for ag and the environment. And so it's a little bit different approach that's really showing some fruitful results.
Yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned that, because when we talk about water and conservation, California is one of the first states you think of.
Absolutely. You know, water's been such an issue for decades now, decades. And, you know, we're going past, really 50 years ago, it was a developmental approach. We're building lots of things and we're just getting infrastructure up. And now it's there was a regulatory phase from probably the 70s through the early, mid 90s, late 90s. Now we're getting towards a more collaborative stage where we know that there's a limited amount of water and how to best utilize that so our economy can grow, our communities can thrive, and we can all benefit.
One might wonder if the water usage, though, dropped off as of late because of this coronavirus. We know that there were stay-at-home orders, and in some areas that's still happening, but a loss of demand, if you will, for ag products. I'm going to segue just a moment. As we've seen that loss of demand, how do you see it impacting the industry?
Well, obviously, the loss in demand with respect to food service has been huge. I didn't know it before even sitting on the Ag Committee, but I'd heard a statistic that 90% of bacon is used in food service, is used in restaurants, which is surprising. You know, I've got 3 boys and myself, and we eat a lot of bacon, I can guarantee you. But that loss of food service in schools has had a direct impact. And that's where I see a real opportunity. We've got so many families, frankly, that are having severe food hardship issues. And when I'm at a food distribution, the thing I notice most of all, and it struck me early on, was that in the back of every car that's coming through, either a child or a car seat. And so you see how these are affecting families. And I'm just thinking that the things that we could do on the demand side to be able to provide farmers with more purchasing more products from farmers to distribute out to the people, that solves a lot of issues. We create that demand, we get the food into the people that need it until we can recover from this pandemic.
And as we recovered, there's been some work done by Congress as well through the CARES Act, which led to the Coronavirus Food Assistance Program, CFAP, and then CFAP-2, which provided some additional, well, maybe not additional, it just made sure you had more of your producers involved. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for bringing that up, Tony. Is that CFAP has been very, very beneficial. We've seen a number of instances where particular producers were left out, to a certain extent disregarded for one reason or another. You know, in my district, raisins, Pima cotton, wine grapes, and so on. But I'm very happy to see in this last round, the CFAP 2.0, that they were included. There's still a lot more work to do, and we know that this is an issue that's not going to be solved overnight. So we need to be looking toward the future to make sure that we can solidify and ensure that our farmers and our producers are here for us tomorrow.
So that's the CFAP program, but now let's step back for just a moment. Getting USDA funded year to year is part of what Congress does. This year, having to do a continuing resolution or a CR to keep the government open after the 1st of October, but there was something that was a bit of a hiccup along the way. What was it?
Yeah, well, we all know what it was, right? I mean, and you know what it was more than anything else, and frankly, I'm tired of it. It's farmers being used as a political football. That's what it was. And I'm sorry, and I'm happy to see that there was a positive resolution on that. And really, we wanted to make sure that the Credit Commodity Corp, the CCC, was fully funded, but we wanted to make sure that there was enough transparency there that the money that's going to farmers and producers goes to those farmers and producers. It doesn't go to any other things, border wall or this or that. And so we're glad that that oversight was put in place. We were able to pass the CR last night, and certainly looking forward to continuing to work on these vital programs for our farmers and producers everywhere.
And we talked about how we're nearing the end of the year, the fiscal year, but we're also nearing the elections and the end of this Congress. As you look towards next year and the next Congress, what do you think the priorities should be?
Well, certainly looking towards the next Congress, certainly hope I'm part of the next Congress, because I can tell you what, is that if there's one thing I noticed, when you're coming to Congress as a freshman, the thing that everybody asks you, what's been the most surprising thing that you've learned? And I can tell you, the most surprising thing is how much you can get done if you're working with both sides. Look at the Farm Worker Modernization Act, the first piece of bipartisan farm worker immigration legislation passed in 30 years. Well, we got together, a nice bipartisan team, and we got that done. And really, I was so proud. That was one of my proudest moments in Congress. Because of the work I did, I was actually presided over that vote. I don't know if you may recall. But very much looking forward to being part of Congress's, and really we're going to start picking up the Farm Bill next year for 2023. So certainly want to have a hand in that.
So good to see you. Thanks for the work you do, and we wish you the best.
Thanks for all you do, Tony. Great to be here.
Again, it's the Honorable T.J. Cox, represents the 21st Congressional District of California, member of the House Ag Committee, on today's Agribusiness Report.